Hi folks, welcome to RJA Impact. Today we're going to discuss the latest in the Laundrie Petito case going on in Sarasota County Circuit Court, Florida at the moment. Just before I get into that, I thought I'd mention that in the lead up to the anniversary of her death, campers near the Spread Creek in Wyoming, where her remains were found, have been visiting her memorial site. Rocks have been made to form a cross at the memorial there, and many of the rocks have had messages written on them. Rest in peace, sweet Gabby, was written on one, as you can see in the image here. Gabby Petito, such a beautiful soul taken away too soon. You are loved and will never be forgotten, another rock said. Lots of other short messages, rest in paradise Gabby, God bless Gabby, and God bless you, for example, and there were even smaller rocks painted in bright colours added to the cross. Now, I had some very constructive and insightful feedback on the original background video on this case, which did go through all of the happenings up until the current court case, and as a result I've updated that video with a number of additional stops that Gabby and Brian made on their fateful last trip. I've also included a pic of Joe Petito, Gabby's father, which I'd omitted to include in the original. I'll release that video shortly, and thanks to everyone for the feedback. Now, Gabby's remains were ultimately found in Wyoming weeks after she was reported missing, and Laundrie's body was found in Florida on a nature preserve a few weeks later. It was determined that he had died from a self-inflicted gunshot, and following investigation the FBI determined in January of 2022 that Laundrie was responsible for Petito's murder. So back to the court case, which, as I stated earlier, is going on in the Sarasota County state of Florida. And as a reminder, Gabby Petito's parents, Joe and Nicole, are suing Brian Laundrie's parents, Chris and Roberta, for essentially withholding information that they knew about Gabby's demise and for, in quote, the intentional infliction of emotional distress to them as the awful events unfolded last year. They are seeking upwards of $100,000 in damages based on their filings. We know that a few weeks ago, and here we are in the middle of July 2022, the Laundries tried to dismiss the lawsuit brought against them by Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, which was denied by the judge, Hunter W. Carroll. They allege that the Laundries knew more than they let on and tried to assist Brian in trying to flee the country. Following the news that the dismissal had been denied, Joseph had apparently tweeted hashtag the truth will be revealed, hashtag justice for Gabby, hashtag Gabby Petito. Gabby's mother Nicole also tweeted, and we are so proud of our attorney Pat Riley, hashtag keep going, hashtag we won't stop. In their court filing, they said that Christopher and Roberta Laundrie exhibited extreme and outrageous conduct, and we'll see that actual paragraph later. In turn, the Laundrie's lawyer, Stephen Bertolino, claimed that his clients were exercising their Fifth Amendment's right by staying quiet. However, key to the court case was a statement that he made saying that the Laundries expressed their hope that Gabby would be reunited with her parents, and this statement was made after Brian had told them about killing Gabby and whilst the search for Gabby was still going on. The motion to have the case dismissed brought by Brian's parents was denied a few weeks ago, as we heard, and Judge Carroll said that the Laundries' actions of blocking contact to the Petito Schmidts was particularly callous and cruel. According to Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt, Gabby's parents, Brian allegedly told his parents that he had killed his fiancée a day or so after returning home. They, in quotes, even went on vacation knowing that Brian Laundrie had murdered Gabrielle Petito. Now, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's case was actually mentioned in court when Carroll brought up Johnny Depp's defamation verdict in his trial against his ex-wife Amber Heard. Now remember, it was the Laundrie's lawyer Bertolino who spoke during the hunts for Gabby, and the Judge Carroll considered whether his words qualified as a statement made on behalf of the Laundries. Carroll apparently said, "Aren't we responsible for the words that we say when we say them?" Johnny Depp was recently found to be civilly liable for defamation for things that his attorney had said. Now, what had happened in that case was that Adam Waldman, who's an attorney for Johnny Depp, alleged that Amber Heard had called the police to her apartment after apparently trashing the place, throwing red wine about, and blaming it all on Johnny. Because he was Johnny's spokesman, he therefore spoke for Johnny, and Johnny was therefore liable for what he said, and the jury agreed in that case. So let's bring things up to date with what the case documents in Gabby Petito's case are revealing. Well, we've had access to the document containing the actual allegations by Gabby's parents and also Christopher and Roberta Laundrie's responses to each of the questions. This has been amended a few times and you can see the first intro page here. A lot of the complaint paragraphs are fairly mundane, like dates of birth etc. of the parties, and in their responses Christopher and Roberta separately have just replied, admitted or often denied, on the basis that they don't have knowledge of the allegation. For example, in the latter case, Brian had a cordial relationship with Gabby's parents. They've said they deny this because they don't have knowledge of it. Let's move through the document and I'll pick out matters of interest, in my opinion anyway. And because the response documents from Christopher and Roberta are almost identical, I'll consider them together unless there's anything to point out in respect of them separately. Here, for example, where the damages claimed are purported to be over $30,000, we actually know that they're seeking somewhere over $100,000 in damages. Well, Brian's parents deny this on the basis that they have no knowledge of what damages could have been incurred. Brian and Gabby were engaged. They admit this, although they deny knowledge of the actual date they became engaged. Now, in the following few paragraphs, there are listed details about specific dates of Gabby's and Brian's fateful trip, and about Gabby being a, in quotes, van lifer, as it's put, culminating in point 14 here, where it states on August the 27th, Brian murdered Gabby. Chris and Roberta deny all knowledge of these items. Here at number 16 we have reference to the point at which Brian purportedly sent text messages from Gabby's phones to try and cover his tracks. At number 18 we get to one of the crucial allegations in the case, that Brian told his parents on or about August the 28th that he had murdered Gabby. They deny this outright. Another interesting point here is number 20, where the allegations state that Brian returned home to his parents' house driving Gabby Petito's van. His parents deny this on the basis that they have no knowledge of it. They just admit to him returning home. Now, it seems to me that if Brian turned up and the van was outside their house, then it would be fairly clear he was driving it. So why claim no knowledge? There may be more to this point that is yet to be revealed. Another slightly strange response here is at number 21, saying that after September the 1st, when Brian had returned home, there was no contact between the two sets of parents. Brian's parents denied knowledge of this. Well, surely you know if you've had contact with someone, and therefore it's either a yes we have or no we haven't. How do you deny it on the basis that you have no knowledge? I do not have an answer for that one. Here we have two key paragraphs, number 25 and 26. And you'll remember that we discussed that Brian's parents, through their lawyers, had said that they had hoped that Gabby would be reunited with their parents. And of course it is alleged that Brian had already told them that he'd murdered her. Well, here is the statement. I'll let you read it. Now, this is denied by Brian's parents on the basis that they had no knowledge of it. And this alludes back to the key point that if an agent speaks, then they are speaking on behalf of you. And thus a conclusion should be that you are responsible for what they say. This is where the judge, in denying the dismissal by Brian's parents, had actually alluded to the Depp Heard case, as I've already explained. Another odd one, number 27, we have the wording of the letter that the Petito's lawyers sent on behalf of their family, essentially requesting help to find Gabby. Now, Brian's parents are denying this on the basis of knowledge. Well, surely you either did or did not receive it, and surely it's either a direct denial or admittance that you received it. Again, I don't have an answer to exactly how they can deny it on the basis of knowledge in this case. At 30 and 31, they deny that they kept Brian's location secret and could prevent suffering as they knew about the location of Gabby's remains, deny making arrangements for Brian to leave the country, and deny acting with, in quotes, great indifference to the rights of Joe and Nicole, Gabby's parents. Here is one of the most damning paragraphs in the allegations, which I'll read out. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie exhibited extreme and outrageous conduct which constitutes behaviour under the circumstances which goes beyond all possible bounds of decency and is regarded as shocking, atrocious, and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. Chris and Roberta outrightly deny this and all the subletted items. Of interest here at letter C, they deny taking a family vacation with Brian while the search for Gabby was going on. A lot has been made in the press about them taking this vacation, which would definitely seem callous under the circumstances, but here they are denying it was actually a vacation. What was it then? Well, I don't know, and I guess we'll find out in due course. In paragraphs 35 through 40, the allegations are split between the parents, but essentially summarise all that had gone before by saying that Brian's parents caused suffering to Gabby's parents and that they request the court award just damages for the suffering together with costs. This is all filed by Patrick Riley, acting for Gabby's parents. In summary, we have a lot of facts being alleged and denied either outright on the basis that the Laundries have no knowledge, or just flatly denied. To my mind, it shouldn't be too difficult to clear up a number of these items with searches of the Laundries' phones and message records, etc. I think, however, that there will be a couple of very key items that will just leave a we said, you said decision to be made by the court. For example, if there is no written or electronic evidence to the contrary, how can it be proven that Brian did not or did tell his parents that he had murdered Gabby? This is surely going to rely on the credibility of the witnesses, and they can only be Brian's parents surely, stating what Brian had or had not said to them. Well, that's it, quite a lot to unravel, and we'll see how this all unfolds in due course. And that's it for now. If you liked the video, please hit that like button, and if you hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated, and of course you won't miss out on further updates and other videos as events unfold. Bye for now.